a student. Last year in business studies, we studied about different types of business organizations like sole trading, partnership firms. And you also learned about their merits and demerits. So this year in 9th standard, in business study, the first lesson is management of business. And in this lesson, you will learn about how to manage those business firms. In today's lesson, let us learn about some principles of management. Thank you.
Management is essential for all organizations, big or small, profit or non-profit, manufacturing or service sector. So what is this management? Management is the principle of managing the activities of an enterprise. Some experts have defined management in their own way. Let us see first J.L. Haynes. How does he define management? According to J.L. Haynes, management is an art of getting things done through other people. See, this is an art because the manager, he himself doesn't do the work, but he tells other people to do the work and they do the work according to his order. So this is the definition of management and this is defined by J.L. Haynes. We have one more definition that is by George R. Terry. According to George R. Terry, management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling performance to determine and accomplish the objectives by the use of people and resources. So let us see the meaning of this definition. It is a process of planning what should be done. So for that they have to plan first. Second one is they have to organize. They have to organize the people, resources. Then the manager or the management should motivate and control the performance by to determine and complete the objectives. How do they do this? They do this by using the people and resources. So this is one more definition of management. Principles of management. If a person wants to manage his firm smoothly without any problem, what principles should he follow? The principles are suggested by Henry Fayol. So what principles did he suggest? Let us see and discuss. The first principle is division of work. What do you mean by division of work? A work can be divided among several employees based on their capacity and based on their skill. For example, if we take the example of a catering business, one can cook the food, one can cut the vegetables, one can take the business order from the clients. So, if the employees divide the work according to their capacity and skill, they will do the work quickly and efficiently also. So this is the first principle which tells about division of work. And this division of work helps in specialization and it improves the efficiency of the workers also. Let us move to the second principle of management, that is authority and responsibility. the management should take the responsibility and they should have that authority over their employees also. So this authority and responsibility come with the experience what the manager has, and not only that, the past experience also it is needed, and he should be intelligent enough to take the responsibilities and handle the situations. If he has all these qualities, definitely he will manage the firm properly. The third principle is discipline. This discipline refers to the managerial authority and constructive discipline among the officials and subordinates at all levels. It means that the manager should discipline the subordinates as well as the workers. Why should he discipline the workers? By disciplining them, the company can achieve the predetermined goals easily. And if needed, the manager must use the penalties also. And the discipline, while disciplining, he should be clear and fair. He should be clear in his order, and the discipline should be equal to all. He should not be partial to his employees. The next command is, or the next principle is unity of command. If there is a team of employees, the employees should receive the order from one superior only. There should be only one head who gives the order to the employees. If there are two heads and if they give different order, the employees get confused and they cannot achieve the goal. So there should be only one superior and employees should follow that superior's order. The next one is unity of direction. The activities should have one head and one superior only. In the previous unity of command only I mentioned about it. There should be only one superior for the group or for the committee, so that they will get order from only that superior, or else it leads to confusion. The next one is subordination of individual interest to general interest. The management should minimize the differences between them, and they should not think about their individual interest or their individual differences with the employees. Always they have to think about the general interest or the interest of the firm, and this subordination of individual interest, definitely it helps the firm to achieve the goals. So they have to minimize the individual differences, because these individual differences, they block the goals of the firm. Remuneration of personnel. What do you mean by remuneration? Remuneration is nothing but salary. So how should be the salary to the employees? Salary should be fair and afford to maximum satisfaction to employees. What is the importance of salary in an employee's life? So salary can motivate the employee to do great work, or salary can motivate the employee to come to the firm early or to finish his work before the deadline. If the salary paid is not at all enough to an employee, then what he may do, he can leave the job and he can go to one more firm. So this firm loses an employee who is efficient. So how can the firm stop this? The firm should provide the salary so that the employee is satisfied and employee gives the result. The next one is centralization. So centralization talks about the authority concentrated so that it gives the overall yield. So who is the authority here? The authority is management. In a firm, the authority to take the decision should be given to management. It should be centralized so that the management's order should be final. While taking the decision, the management can talk to the employees, they can consult the employees and they can take the suggestions, but the final order or the authority of taking final decision should be in the hands of the management only. It should not be decentralized. It should be in the hands of management or the chief authority of the firm. The next one is scalar chain. So this scalar chain tells about the relationship between the superiors and the subordinates. So what is the relationship between the management and its workers? And it should be defined clearly that the subordinate should not cross the line. So this one explains about the range of authority and responsibility of the superiors.